Arts in Motion is a program where we connect and collaborate with musicians across the globe. I am here with artist and co host Catherine Shapiro from Creative Space.
Good morning.
Hi, Kathy.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. Good afternoon. And we welcome our special guest from Costa Rica, the pianist, composer, researcher, Minister of Culture and Youth of Costa Rica in 2010. His name is Manuel Obregon. Welcome, Manuel.
Good morning, everyone who is listening this, Catherine and Gabriela. It's my pleasure to be here and share with you this beautiful morning.
Yes, it is an honor, and I am so happy that life brings us back together in a space where we can talk about art, culture, creativity, identity, freedom in all of its manifestations, also sustainability, spirituality, all of these valuable subjects in humans' life. So, Kathy,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have a question for Manuel?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. You know, as a musician, you have had a lot of experience working with people from all over the world in all kinds of countries. How did you hold fast to your identity? And how do you identify yourself as a musician when you're in another country this way?
Well, this is a very interesting question because, Costa Rica is a very small country, but also we have been in some way receiving influences from cultures from all around the world for I can say for centuries and especially because of that, because we are in the middle of America, the cultures have been passing through for many years, and letting here his culture, and also in the case of music, the label of so many different places in the world. So
Absolutely.
this is a interesting part of what happened in this small country. But also, we do not receive that information maybe when we are younger. So I start researching and studying about this tradition in my own way, and that way was traveling and sharing with musicians from such many different countries, especially in Central America,
Absolutely.
and after that in all America as a continent, because the migration has been around, as I said, for a long time. So we have this heritage and an amazing discovering journey that I have made and also share with other people through the music. Is what I can
Absolutely.
say.
It's fabulous. Americans
Yes.
tend to borrow a lot of different things, and
Yeah.
we borrow music and styles from just about everybody. I'm wondering what influenced you and what you borrowed from.
Yes. Well, maybe with music sometimes it's easier to explain because I have here this instrument that has been my company for many years, the piano.
Cool.
I would like to play. I say it's a very short song that is the oldest one that I know, called it La Yeguita. It belongs to
Absolutely.
the Chorotega culture, and it's it's still they play it here in Nicoya, in the north of Costa Rica, in Guanacaste.
Well, fabulous.
Originally, it was played with the ocarina.
Mm-hmm.
This is a indigenous instrument, but
Mm-hmm.
now they play with flutes and with different instruments. I'm going to play a version, my own version with the piano to see how it sounds.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Yes.
That is just amazing.
Very nice.
It's something like that, la yegüita.
It
So it's a
almost
simple
sounds
instrument.
oriental in its quality.
It is, yes. The most of the Native American music, it comes from as you know, the migration. They came from Oriente, from especially Mongolia and China.
There you
So all
go.
this old music, also with the Native American music in the in North America, in South America, and Central America, it sounds Oriental to me because we have that strong influence in the old migrations. Yes.
The
That
types of scales that is used, right? Some of the pentatonic scales and has a specific sound.
Exactly. The pentatonic scale is used from the Andes to the Amazonian side, Central America, North America, and with different intervals with this. But not only in the music, you can say everything in the anatomy of the people. Of course, we have a strong influence from uh, or the Oriente in our country.
In the country. And when you began your research about specifically Costa Rican music, which were the first rhythms that you were studying from our country?
Well, they were not exactly rhythms, but musical forms, because the rhythm is only one part of
Music.
the music. But as you say, the melody is such important, and maybe that was the first part. What kind of scales we use in the Mayan culture, in the
hmm
Chorotegan culture. It's very important to think about America before the Europeans came here, because of course they brought all the African music to our continent, who was really powerful.
hmm
But as as we know, in all the Caribbean side, and also in Costa Rica, but that was only the last 500 years. But
There's a
we
lot
have
of
in
time
Costa
in
Rica, we have
between, isn't it?
11,000 years of culture. That
hmm
it is the most difficult thing to recognize, or to understand, that has been there. So we have a lot of different instruments and very old songs that they still are playing in Talamanca in different places. We use binary rhythms with a drum
hmm
and flute and song sometimes. As this one, that I play, La Yeguita, is from the Mayan and Olmeca influences.
hmm
Um, but a lot of this information, and because it was not recorded, we lost a lot of those. But still, we have some cultures that they keep their tradition and his songs and music.
Alive. Talking
Okay.
about those recordings that you mentioned, I found in the library here, as part of the research project, a book that is called Recordings of Latin American Songs and Dances.
Yeah.
And it was written in 1950 about all the recordings that were in the United States about these Latin American countries. And when I go to see what was about Costa Rica, there was nothing. And it happened
Yeah.
the same thing with 2 or 3 other countries from Central America. So they didn't have anything in the Library of Congress of the United States by 1950. What do you think has been the effort of Costa Ricans to be able to make a presence with their music abroad now?
Well, there is a lot of people that they start making their own recordings. Like I have researching. When I was in Washington D.C., the Smithsonian Institute and different places. But
hmm
it's you can find anything about Central American music, especially in the U.S. But you should go to the roots. That is traveling and talking with the people
Yeah.
here in Central America. So it's what
Absolutely.
I did. I created the Papaya Orchestra, and
hmm
I have a very good teachers. For example, Jorge Acevedo, he records in the 70s. He has an amazing amount of recordings of native Costa Rican tradition. I recommend you to listen to that.
Yes.
Also, the BBC, and there is another French institution, the Museo del Hombre de Paris. They have some very old recordings about traditions in
And
Central
just so
America.
that
So,
everybody knows,
I mean, it's not easy to find, but
Yes.
mhm,
you should go to the roots. And I think it's not in the universities or in
In the books,
this
it's
kind
in
of
the people.
places, but you
yep,
should go
sometimes you got to
to
go to the people.
To the people,
the
exactly.
people. Yeah.
So I know that when you become a musician, daily routines are really important. What do you do daily on your piano as a musician to practice and get warmed up? Just for us people like me, just starting to learn the piano.
Yes. Well, there are different steps in your life. For example, of course, when you are learning, you should practice maybe a lot of different scales and harmonies to understand how it works, the instrument. In this
Mhm.
case, the piano is an amazing instrument, but also it's a complex instrument. So what I mean in the beginning is good to start related to that theory and scales and the mechanism of your hands on the piano. There are
Mhm.
a lot of different methods to that, but after that, when you start performing your own music, you develop or you start working your own style
Mhm.
and your own sound. So you start getting a little bit away of these classical things or
Yeah,
this
kind of
method. Just
independence. You sort of
yeah, just
develop your
to
own. Yeah.
find your own voice and
Mhm.
and your own sound. This is the most, for me, the most beautiful and maybe difficult part in any instrument, when you can play like your soul tells you how to play.
Truth.
And following
And yes.
following that comment, how would you play with your left hand and with your right hand too? But if they tell you play a parrandera or a tambito, for example, if you can give us an example of
Yes,
performing
sure.
a
uh,
short piece.
the even if the piano is not the traditional instrument for that kind of music,
Mhm.
but you can recreate it. What I do is playing like the drums in the left hand, ¿verdad?
There we go.
Something
Ah,
like that.
yes, we get the gist of it, and
What a fabulous rhythm. That
it's
was
a lot of
awesome.
It
dancing.
is.
There is a dancing that goes together with it.
Yes,
And
is that so? Also, to answer the other part of the question that you did, Gabriela, about this rhythm. So, what happens? They brought with the African population this instrument like the marimba, the kihongo, and this kind of rhythms that they spread all around America, especially with a lot of influence from the habanera in Cuba,
Mhm.
but all we call it ritmos ternarios, so the rhythms that you can feel it in three, not in four or two, or
Mhm.
in three or six. They are more from Africa, and a, a lot of rhythms we have the same. For example, the parrandera is very much related. We call it parrandera or son centroamericano, son guanacasteco, but it's related with the son jarocho in Mexico because we have the same culture as I told you, in the north of Costa Rica, and for example in Yucatan and all the Mayan influence from Chiapas to Guatemala from here.
I tell you, I have
Yeah.
asked a lot of musicians this question. I know that I've been to Mexico quite a bit, and they say that Mexicans are famous for the saddest playing and the very emotional song. What do you think Costa Rican music is most famous for?
Well, we are not famous at all. I can say the Central American music is the best kept secret in the music world.
You're
So
getting
really,
there. You will.
not even Central Americans we know good what is the our music about. So there are some maybe famous artists in other countries in Costa Rica. Um, Maybe there is only one rhythm that you can say that it comes from Costa Rica. That is we call it Chiqui Chiqui. So there is a song, La Vispa, who is played all around the Caribbean. It was written in the 70s, maybe 70s or 80s. And it's a mix of soca, reggae music, and Caribbean music, especially the
Yeah,
Chiqui
I've
Chiqui.
been told you also collaborated quite a bit with Caribbean gospel artists.
Yes, I did one research and some recordings about the gospel music in Costa Rica, which is really interesting, and it's a very old tradition, more than 150 years old, at least from gospel music. And all the Caribbean has gospel music and has also the calypso music, but especially what I understand that happens is that people from many different places of Africa, they came to the Caribbean and they developed their own styles and traditions. And so at some point, they met in the city of New Orleans because in the Congo Square, they sell the slaves there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
also it was an amazing point of a meeting point from culture. So many rhythms like the gospel, the spirituals, the jazz, the blues, and everything comes from so spread in the Mississippi area, but they came originally from different places in the Caribbean side, and also from Costa Rica.
And what about the Calypso Limonense that is a result of all that mixture? How would
Yes,
you?
the Calypso Limonense has its own style. It's different than other countries because maybe we don't use a lot of instruments that they use in other countries like Trinidad and Tobago. It may be simple here. We sometimes only use the bass box and a singer, or sometimes maybe one drum, one conga, or maybe one banjo sometimes when they came later.
And simple
But
is sometimes better.
it's a beautiful expression of culture, the calypso music, as the gospel music also is so huge.
How would
So
be
what?
a little
Excuse
bit
me.
of your rendition of the Calypso Limonense in the piano? How would you perform a little bit of it?
Yes, I can play some music from. Uh, there is one that I like. It is the baptism. It's a very old mix of tradition also. Um, I'm gonna play a little bit of that.
Let's go for it.
Ah, that's beautiful.
That is amazing.
Yes. There's one more rhythm, very nice, that I want to ask about. Very nice. There's
This
one
is
more rhythm that I've been researching, and is the influence of cumbia in the
yeah.
Costa Rican swing criollo dance. What can you
Yes.
say a little bit, because time is running, and I wanted
Okay.
to talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So we have also a form that the cumbia also is a very powerful influence from what we know that is Colombia now. But we have to understand that before the colony, so we were not separated, but countries as now. So we were the same cultural thing. Colombia, Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
and Costa Rica. We
Mm-hmm.
receive a lot of influence also from the Caribbean, from from the South of America, also from the Amazonian side, and from the North of America. So the the cumbia is is one of them. If you want me to play something,
Yes.
Gabriela, of
Go
the
for it.
cumbia?
Let's hear
We
it.
Okay,
have like 3 minutes, but just play a very short part.
okay,
So we'll, and if we need to, we'll play out. And
No, because we have the other video to play out.
oh,
just a
okay,
little bit.
Just
that's
a
right.
little,
We
yeah.
do. Go right ahead.
Something like that. The is more cadencioso. We have it's dance music. It's a lovely music also, but it has this Amazonian influence. In all the Amazon side, you can find the cumbia in different styles and with different instruments.
That is just amazing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's another a group like his was the founder, right? Malpais, with other Costa Rican
Yes.
musicians. What type of music did you play with Malpais mostly?
We play especially music from Guanacaste because the members of the group they came from there, from Nicoya especially. But also we play a lot of Costa Rican rhythms like this, like the cumbia. This one that I was playing is from Malpais,
Mm-hmm.
Cumbia de
Mm-hmm.
la Llorona.
Ah, okay.
We play also, of course, influence of different traditions in Costa Rica.
It is
But
amazing how many traditions
especially
cross paths in that
music
part of the
from
world.
Guanacaste and also music from the Central Valley in Costa Rica.
Ah, that's wonderful. Well, we have just like 1 minute left, Kathy. So, what
Yeah.
do you want to say to
Well,
Manuel?
let's thank our wonderful guest for doing his best on the piano and introducing us to some great Costa Rican and South and Central American rhythm, because it does have a great rhythm and you can dance to it. We are here on Omega Radio in Arts in Motion with my wonderful co-host and great friend Gabriela Esquivel. Gabriela, thank you so much for allowing me to co-host with you. It's been a lot of
It's
fun.
an honor. I love it. So, Manuel, which is
Yeah.
your social media? Where can people follow you and learn more about you?
Well, you can find by my name, manuelobregon.com is my webpage, but also my music in all the platforms and streaming musical places like Spotify and YouTube and everything is by my name, Manuel Obregon.
Okay.
You can find me there, and there is a lot of recordings and music. And it will be my pleasure also to keep in contact with you and keep on talking
Definitely.
about this. That I love all this. I mean,
Themes.
learning always about the music in the world. That is such amazing, experience
Yes.
and journey.
Absolutely.
And we have a surprise for our audience too, that
Yeah.
Manuel not only plays the piano, he also plays the accordion. And
Yeah.
some years ago, in 2021, I think, he had we had the honor to collaborate in one of my music videos. So we are going to say goodbye today and invite all of you to continue listening to Arts in Motion every Monday at 12:30 p.m. here on Omega Radio. And we're going to say goodbye with this song that is Maria. And you'll see a little bit of Manuel's playing the accordion and the solo that he performed in the music video as well. So thank you, Manuel, once again, and we'll stay
My
connected.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for
Thank you very
listening.
much.
Maria,
Bye, Kathy. Bye.
no te rindas jamás. Todos tus sueños se harán realidad. Solo tienes que luchar.
Oiga, cuénteme de María. Me dijeron que se fue a vivir a los Estados. Qué muchacha más arriesgada. Así, ojalá le vaya bien por allá.
Looking to shine under summer skies. Happy to be in this brand new land. All my sweet memories have gone away. I only work all night and day. No, no te rindas, María. No, no te rindas jamás. Todos tus sueños se harán realidad. Solo tienes que luchar. I have no friends who are always there, helping and loving. I'm on my way. Dreams and illusions I won't pretend. Singing and dancing until the end. No, no te rindas.
Welcome to Arts in Motion with artist Gabreila Esquivel. Conéctate todos los lunes a las 12:30 p.m. aquí por Omega Radio.
You're listening.